heritage. Here we have another colleague. She is Lucia Sanchez, and she is arts and visual teacher and STEAM coordinator of our school. Thank you, Lucia, for being here with us.
Thank you, Marta.
Okay.
So, now you know my name is Lucia. This is my first year here at this school. So I was lucky enough to be part of this Erasmus project last year. Anyway, I'm very happy to be with you now. I'm going to explain to you what is STEAM for us, our approach to STEAM, and how we work under STEAM framework, and also, of course, how we can work on heritage through STEAM. And then Marta is going to expose one experience with STEAM and the Mediterranean diet. Well, as you can see, my English is not very good, so I apologize in advance for that, but I'm sure if I get into trouble, Marta is going to help me. Then, go on. This is more or less the index about my brief exposition. So, why we work on STEAM, what is STEAM for us, how do we develop STEAM at the school, STEAM not just into the classroom but also out of the classroom, and of course STEAM and heritage. Then what is STEAM? You already know that STEAM is an acronym. The S for science, T for technology, E engineering, arts, and M mathematics. But it's not yet a group of subjects. It's much more than this. It involves creative processes. We work on skills that will prepare students to become innovators. It's very important not just the subject, but the interrelationship between them. And if we go further, if we think on our final goal is to have not just subject, but learning modules, well, what is called integrated curriculum. Therefore, for us, STEAM is much more important the way we work than the focus on certain fields, certain subjects. It's not about science, but it's more about the methodology. Then this is STEAM for us. It's more or less an open concept about STEAM, and why we think it's important to work under STEAM framework. Well, education is under pressure because we live in a very changing world. We need to improve the skills to solve novel problems. You can see with COVID crisis, the scientists have to work very fast and they have to collaborate between them, and it's a good example for the skills that we have to improve in our students. A STEAM framework allows our students how to think critically, how to solve problems, and of course they need creativity for that. And this is very important also for us. STEAM provides teachers an additional opportunity to enhance our collaborative work. In Spain, I don't know in Sweden, but in Spain sometimes the teacher isolate islands, each teacher in its classroom. So if we work on STEAM and we need to combine different subjects, we need to collaborate, we need to work together. Our approach to STEAM is open concept. It's not very orthodox. It's not just a science and technology issue. Everybody, no matter what their field is, can work under STEAM. And we don't try to be the most science, the most technology, the most STEAM, but we try to improve our teaching method, to do things better with our students. The STEAM projects are a way rather than a goal. And what else? Well, it's more or less the same. We use languages are needed to communicate. Languages are not science, technology, engineering, but we work languages in STEAM projects, of course. We work on social science, are needed to understand human beings, so etc. And here could be all the subjects. Of course, we are in an internet world. Big data are really important. We have to learn our students to serve in this world. It's not a question of if they are going to be scientists or not. They are going to live in this context. Of course, the A of STEAM, I'm a drawing teacher, I'm an art teacher. Creativity is needed to develop all the STEAM skills. And in Castilla-La Mancha, our administration, our institutional approach use the expression STEAM plus to show us that physical exercise, team working, nature, multiculturalism, etc. is also very important. STEAM does not mean just individuals in front of a computer. Okay, so all this is STEAM. Then here we have some examples. This is STEAM because you use software, tangents, etc. But this is also STEAM. My students have just a cord, a string, this black cord, and a chart, and they have to draw this polygon. They have to do the bisectors. They have to collaborate because it's too big. They need to be 2 or 3, and they have just 20 minutes. They need to solve the problems. This is also STEAM. This with the robots, with the Arduino board, this is of course is STEAM, but this is also STEAM. This is our approach to STEAM. It's not yet technology, but it's much more than this. We are planting at the playground. We can do seedbed, I think, seedbed. Well, and all of that. Our province as a World Heritage Site, the cave paintings, and it's a place that is a little difficult to reach. It's on the forest. Well, they work on all of that. Here, there's no computers, there's no sophisticated tools, but it's also STEAM. What is our didactic, sorry, this is a mistake here, didactic framework? Well, all of you know problem-based learning. You can give the students an open-ended problem. Of course, all of you know project-based learning. This is usually the most common to work on STEAM, this method, PBL. At the end, we have phenomenon-based learning. This is more or less the integrated curriculum. Of course, there are also methods from design, and the most important is that students, teachers have to work in teams, in groups. They have to collaborate. All of you know this expression, learning by doing. That is what we are trying to do. And this is a brief consideration. The background, the theoretical basis are of this that in Spain we call innovación educativa, educational innovation. So the bases are in the 19th century, and we are just here talking about innovation. I don't know if this is a little funny or a little sad, I don't know. Well, now let's go. How do we develop STEAM at our school? Then we have an institutional training program. The administration each year makes a training program, so teachers who want to be involved apply. In our school we are more than 50% of the teachers of this school. The commitment is to make at least 2 multidisciplinary didactic projects with STEAM methodology. And there are different ways to get involved in this group. We can be part of this working team or working group, and we make 1, 2, or 3 projects, but we also can be support teacher. The support teachers are part of the smaller coordination group. They must carry out more training activities, or they are some kind of support for the rest of the teachers. And also, the third way to take part in this training activity is to be an expert teacher. If you are an expert teacher, you must develop at least the 33% of the teaching time with STEAM methodology. Also, there are a coordinator, who this year is me, and also the management team, the principal, the vice principals, etc., are strongly involved. They support these training activities. And then we make multidisciplinary units or projects. For example, we have here some of them. Here, show you, this is the template, the model of didactic unit we developed. It means trainer, reflex trainer or coach. It was something combining physical education and robotics. It was with Arduino board. I'm looking for some pictures. Well, we have students from 12 to 18, so we have very more simple projects and more difficult projects. This one is one quite complex, quite difficult. Here we have some photos of the software they were computing, and well, you can see the template of the. ¿Cómo voy para atrás? ¿Cómo voy otra vez a la presentación? Sorry, I'm trying to go back. Claro, pero es que estoy otra vez en... Espera. Esta es una ventana del navegador. En otra ventana del navegador tiene que estar aquí. Espera, ya está. Well, y aquí again. Sorry. Then they were the smaller, the younger students were doing a Newton disc. They were studying colors. Here we have also a musical instrument, a monochord. Well, some examples of multidisciplinary units that they were working at the classroom. But also we have activities of the school, of the whole school. They are not inside the classroom but outside. We have the Women in Science Week, we have some contests, we have fairs and conferences, etc. And of course, we can work heritage through a STEAM approach, because heritage is our context. We also belong to the ASP.NET, the UNESCO, so we are very concerned with heritage. Heritage is literal heritage, artistic heritage, intangible heritage, environmental heritage, and of course European heritage. Some experiences we can show, well, we can work Roman heritage. This is a temple. It could be a simple work, but they have to calculate the scale. This is a reproduction using a scale. This is illusion, but they have to do empty inside, so they made a mold with plaster, and a mosaic also is our cultural background and technical issues together. We have also a European common heritage. We have paintings. They were the students' costume as the painting. This is student, the painting, students, the painting. They also made interactive pictures, and the characters could speak. Also, this year there are a group that is working landscape and literature. This is Toledo landscape inside the Quixote. There's also our project Nordic mythology. They were doing 3D constructions. They design a character and they make it moving through a stop motion technique. And now they are doing English translation, and the character they are speaking in English. Of course, in our Heritage Erasmus project, you were working also heritage and also STEAM. I know last year you were doing very nice activities about flamenco music, about Mediterranean diet. Of course, we are always linking projects. It's also as subjects. There are not closed boxes. Here is Mediterranean diet. This year there is one project about Mediterranean diet that Marta is going to show us. This is an idea for next year. We are going to collaborate with the City Council, and we are going to create a new place at the city using our cultural heritage based on carpet design, because Cuenca at the Middle Ages was a very important, had a very important industry, carpet industry. And that's all for me. Now Marta is going to show us experience about Mediterranean diet, and thank you very much for your attention.
Buenos días. Bueno, hemos tenido un pequeño inconveniente con una presentación, pero ahora mismo en unos minutos lo vamos a hacer, entonces vamos a adelantar el turno de preguntas para la ponente Lucía Sánchez. Y bueno, pues si tenéis alguna cuestión en este momento sobre su presentación, antes de pasar a nuestra compañera Marta, pues es el momento de hacerlo. Levantáis la mano por la plataforma y os abrimos el micrófono, o vosotros mismos os podéis abrir el micrófono y os escuchamos en la sala. A ver si hay alguna pregunta.
Hello. Le pregunto a Lidia cómo hacen ellos. Venga, Lidia.
Aquí estoy. ¿Me escuchas?
Hello, Lidia.
Hello.
Me gustaría saber, bueno, ¿hay alguien que nos esté escuchando en inglés? Vale. No,
Me parece que solo Nora, pero ella habla español también, entonces
Vale.
tienes ningún problema
Entonces
para ella.
me vais a entender mejor en español.
Sí.
Que me gustaría preguntarte si vosotros allí trabajáis, hacéis proyectos STEAM o tenéis algún programa parecido o algo así.
No, yo no sé nada sobre eso y ahora no pude escucharte toda tu presentación porque tuve clase al mismo tiempo, entonces que entré hace un minuto. Pero a lo que yo sepa, no hacemos nada similar aquí. Quizás algunos profesores, pero nada de que yo sepa en ese momento.
Vale, gracias.
De nada.
Pues Marta nos va a explicar con un poco más de detalle el proyecto que ella ha desarrollado junto con la profesora de biología, que es acerca de la dieta mediterránea, con tercero de eso me parece. Sí. Y bueno, pues la verdad es que han hecho unos murales, han trabajado entrevistas y han trabajado conjuntamente aspectos que tienen que ver con biología, con la alimentación, con las características de la dieta, que es patrimonio intangible de la humanidad, la dieta mediterránea, y por supuesto lo han trabajado de forma bilingüe, en inglés y en castellano. Venga,
Sí, me acuerdo que es algo que los estudiantes presentaron cuando estábamos en Cuenca, el primer día.
Pero
Sí.
este año hemos seguido con la dieta.
Muy bien, perfecto.
Hola, Lidia.
Hola.
Poder compartir y desconectarte al link ahora.
¿Con este? Sí. Bueno, espera, que hemos tenido aquí un pequeño fallo técnico. Well, good morning again. I'm here again. I am Marta Carrasco, and I am going to tell you one of the STEAM activities in which I have participated. I am very sorry because we have had some technical problems and I can't share my presentation. I don't know why, okay? But I'm going to try to explain it to you in the least complex way for you to understand, okay? Because after Lucia's explanation, I think everything is very clear about STEAM just now, right? We have been working in this STEAM project for 3 years now in this course, okay? We have started with the project in 2019. And I'm going to explain you one of our activities, which is called La Dieta Mediterránea, the Mediterranean diet. And this Mediterranean diet, as Lucia has explained to you before, is included in the intangible heritage, okay? And this is not exactly a new activity, but it is a revised one. From another one that we did with the Swedish partners when you came here in March 2019. I've chosen this activity because of that reason, because in that occasion we matched the two projects, the Erasmus project and the STEAM project. And if you remember, when you came here, we had an activity which was called a healthy breakfast, and this activity was included in our STEAM project. And I had some pictures to show you to remember the time, but it's impossible for us to show. So if you remember, we had some typically Mediterranean food. We had ham, tomatoes, orange juice. We also had some, toasted breakfast, etc., etc. And we also had some students from another year, from our 14-year-old students, who presented the activity before having the breakfast, all right? So this year, we have carried out this activity from two different departments. from science and from English. My colleague, my science colleague Amparo and me are working this year with this same group of students, these 14 years old students, okay? And because of that, we thought in the first term to work together with this topic, because in science, with the 4 years old, they always studied about nutrients, about healthy diet, about problems with some foods, poisonous food, etc., etc. And taking advantage of this, I decided to participate with them, because I would like that my students prepare a speaking activity, and they prepare a recipe, and as they were preparing the Mediterranean recipe, they recorded themselves. So in science, they were presented with some questions about nutrients, diets, about healthy and balanced diets, about eating disorders, about illnesses provoked by malnutrition, etc., etc. They also evaluate their body mass index, also their basal metabolic rate, and they were also required to bring to one of the sessions some food labels in order to check the expiring dates, the ingredients, and if all the food that they take weekly is healthy or not. With all the information that they got during these sessions, they, in groups, prepare at home some information, and then they showed the rest of their partners this information using posters. And these posters were shown on our STEAM wall. Well, at the same time, in English, we were working with this topic as well, right? We used a brochure. It's a pity that I can't show you, but we used a brochure, and in this brochure, it was a real one, which I downloaded from the internet, from an American Association of Healthy Consumers that work for American people to eat healthily. Sorry. So using the brochure, okay, we checked if my students had a healthy diet or not, if they ate enough vegetables or fruit or our typically Mediterranean food, and we also use this brochure to learn about a lot of different vocabulary connected with preparing recipes. And they got a lot of different words that they didn't know, words about food, herbs, spices, things that they didn't know, right? And I also downloaded from this web the pyramid of the Mediterranean food, and it was a great help because it was bilingual. So they use it to check if they consumed all these healthy food every single week. After that, with all this information, the one that they had in science and using English, they prepare a weekly planner, okay, a healthy weekly food planner, right? And with all this information again, they went to the web page I gave them, and they chose a Mediterranean recipe. And at home, they cooked some of these healthy recipes. Then I upload all these recipes to a Padlet for them, for the various students to evaluate all these recipes. And they had to give some points in order to get the best 3. And it is a it is a very, very satisfactory activity to work on STEAM, at least for me, from my subjects, from English, because my students really really know, really check, okay, that English is very useful for everything. Okay, this is something, my subject, that can be matched with all the subjects, and this is something very useful for them in order to inform all the people in every place, you know, in the world about whatever topic we choose. So this has been everything. Thanks for your attention. Sorry because of my presentation. And if you have any question for me or for Lucia, we are very glad to listen to whatever you want to ask.
Thank you, Marta. That sounds really interesting, and I like how you incorporated different subjects, so the students can also see this multi parts of all the different, how it all connects in one dot. And also, I like the idea how you use the brochure from the American Association, so that they really see something from real life, from the English-speaking world as well, which sounds very, very well, useful for them, I'm thinking. And then later also apply it in their assignment. Yeah, I think it's a shame we can't see it, but it's not your fault, so you don't have to worry about that.
Okay, thank you.
Could you please tell me what was the age of the students? Did you incorporate different ages, or?
14 years old.
14. Okay, yeah, you said it.
Okay. And they were very, you know, they were eager to inform me about all the things that they know, right, from their science sessions. So they are very talkative in this age.
I can imagine. And then also trying to apply it in English and speak science in English is not always easy, I'm assuming, right? They don't know all the words.
So
great. Which part of the assignment did they like most? What were their comments in the end?
can you please repeat?
Sorry. Which part of the assignment did they like most, and what were their comments in the end?
Right, I think that from my part in English, the part that they enjoyed the most was watching the other partners, okay, cooking, right? This was the funniest thing for them to watch. So they enjoyed a lot. And for the other part, in the science, you know, sessions, they really liked to present the rest of the students about all the information they had got, you know, at home, preparing the posters, etc., etc. And especially one of our students who has some eating disorder. I don't know what is the name. Okay, I don't remember the name now. He was very, very, very interested in this topic. And he wanted to tell everybody, right, the problem that he has, and so it was very nice. He's also a very talkative person, so it was very
excellent.
Nice. Yeah, but watching themselves is always the best thing for them.
I can imagine. It's also very interesting how cultures differ in this context, because here talking about yourselves and some problem that you might have for Swedish students is usually very difficult. They want to keep it to themselves. So I like this part that he wanted to share his experience and talk about it for others, which also contributed, of course, that they know more about the problems, right? Raising awareness, I would say. It's something that our students struggle with usually, because they think it's I don't know, something shameful maybe, or they feel like they don't want to be singled out because of it. So I think it's very important in that context as well to talk about it.
Okay, we are very different, you know. Okay, well,
perfect, thank you.
Okay, do you have any other question?
Yes, I have. Según tú, ¿cuál es el inconveniente más grande de trabajar de esta manera STEAM? Como lo más difícil de conseguir.
Para mí lo más difícil de conseguir siempre ha sido lo que hemos comentado en general los profesores, ponernos de acuerdo, conseguir vernos, porque nosotros sabéis, bueno, vosotros sabéis que siempre tenemos una clase, luego otra clase, luego si tengo un hueco tengo que preparar no sé qué, tal. Lo más difícil es ponerte de acuerdo, conseguir una persona con la que trabajar.
Planeación, sí, del profesorado.
Efectivamente. Siempre todos tenemos muy buenas ideas, siempre la gente, la verdad que hay mucha gente que quiere participar, pero a veces, pues eso, o no consigues a un compañero para trabajar, o no sabes cómo lanzarte a la piscina. Los que ya hemos trabajado pues más tiempo, este es nuestro tercer año, pues más o menos, pues yo quiero, o se me ocurre hacer esto, o qué estás dando tú este año, o tal, ya preparas algo, pero la gente que todavía no se ha lanzado a esto yo creo que es lo más complicado de hacer. Aunque también nosotros podemos realizar actividades STEAM nosotros, o sea, en nuestra misma materia. No hace falta que siempre tengamos que trabajar con otras materias. También podemos ir reformando las actividades y revisándolas. La actividad que realizamos con vosotros cuando vinisteis del desayuno saludable, la habíamos hecho 3 departamentos, tecnología, biología e inglés. Y este año la hemos hecho solamente desde ciencias e inglés. O sea que estas actividades son la verdad que muy versátiles. Y supongo, Lidia, que vosotros hacéis algo parecido, pero que no le colocáis a lo mejor el nombre STEAM.
Puede ser, puede ser.
Yo creo que sí, es igual que trabajar con los proyectos PBL, lo mismo, Project Based Learning, que a veces los haces, pero no sabes que lo estás haciendo. O sea,
Sí, no sabes el nombre oficial.
y luego lees algo y dices, bueno, si yo hago algo parecido.
Sí.
Y bueno, ya sabes que desde inglés siempre podemos participar en lo que nos digan.
Sí, y eso es lo bueno con los idiomas, que se puede como usar cualquier tema y trabajar con ese tema.
Efectivamente. Bueno.
Muy bien. Sí, pero nosotros aquí tenemos el mismo problema. Siempre es que sí, si yo quiero trabajar con alguna cosa que el profesor de biología no pueda en ese momento, y entonces combinarlo, por ejemplo, es muy difícil encontrar tiempo para planearlo y para, sí, tener reuniones, ¿no?
Incluso en el mejor de los casos, aunque encuentres el profesor, te pongas de acuerdo, al final cada profesor se tiene que acabar preparando su parte. Sí, seguro que se me oye.
Yo creo que sí.
Sí, se te oye.
Cada profesor se tiene que acabar preparando su parte, hacerlo en su clase. Y hombre, aunque los alumnos se dan cuenta de que es el mismo proyecto, pero no hay ese espacio para que realmente
lo vean, en serio.
Lo mismo. Uno acaba trabajando un poco individualmente, aunque sea en un proyecto común.
Lo que comenta Lucía es verdad, yo lo recuerdo ahora por la dieta mediterránea que hemos hecho este año. Yo tenía que recordarles cuando entraba, la dieta mediterránea, estamos trabajando a la vez que estáis trabajando con Amparo, etcétera, etcétera. A los alumnos hay que recordarles por ese problema, porque no tenemos la coincidencia o la organización nuestra escolar de poder entrar los dos a la vez, y ese es un problema que tenemos, que somos un poco rígidos nuestro sistema educativo en eso.
Sí, entiendo. Cuando la semana que viene nosotros presentamos esos días de sostenibilidad, podéis ver cómo lo implementan algunos profesores, cómo lo hacen un poco más grande en ese día de sostenibilidad que tenemos. Pero yo no estoy incluida en eso, entonces que no puedo en ese momento deciros más, pero Sofía va a hablar sobre eso la semana que viene. Entonces allí se puede ver, por ejemplo, cómo lo incorporan en y no solo idioma, pero también en otras asignaturas, y hablan de esas cosas. Claro, puede ser cualquier tema que están hablando que tiene que ver con sostenibilidad.
Efectivamente.
En ese caso, sí. Vale, muy bien.
Muchas gracias, Lidia.
Gracias a ti, Marta. Y me acuerdo muy bien de ese día del desayuno, aunque no vimos las fotos ahora.
Bueno, luego como tendréis las presentaciones, pues ya le echáis un ojo a mis alumnos con las recetas.
Sí.
Bueno, si no hay ninguna otra pregunta, vamos a cerrar la sesión y tenemos el
Descanso.
Sí, descanso hasta -4.
Y a -4 volvemos otra vez con el tema de inclusión cultural español para inmigrantes.
Español para inmigrantes.
Perfecto, nos vemos entonces.
Entonces, hasta luego.
Hasta luego.
Hasta luego.